Hey, this is SJ Talks in Life coming back at you. Uh, Sitting here chilling. Haven't been able to. My sleeping patterns are weird. I'll go to sleep for a little bit and then I'll wake back up, and my legs have been spazzing out, so that sometimes that wakes me up. So my sleeping patterns are really weird. So just laying here in my chair, chilling out, um, watching YouTube. Um, I noticed that there's a lot of women. Um, Hope you guys can see me. My lighting, I got one of my lights off, but I think you can. Um, I noticed that black women been coming on social media, and they've been pouring their heart and soul out on TikTok, mainly on TikTok. They've been pouring their heart and soul out and saying how, no, this one woman came, a black woman came on TikTok, and she was saying how how she had one child, and she was saying how she had felt, how she falls short, um and in the areas that she falls short in, and the mistakes that she made, and she only had one kid, and she was pouring her heart and soul out, and she was crying and stuff like that, and she was talking about how she wanted to be loved, um how she wants to be loved, and how she wants to work on herself, and how she wants to change. And I notice a trend. It's more black women are starting to do that. Single with black women that find themselves single at a certain age are coming on social media and pouring their heart out and they're saying that I want to be married and this and that and the other. And that's normal. That's normal and that's okay. Um that's normal for a woman to go through that at a certain age. I know I went through that phase too. I went through um that phase, because society tells us women that we should be married at a certain age. Society tells us women that we should be married at a certain age and we should have children at a certain age. And if those things don't happen at a certain age, then something is wrong with us, or we should somehow feel less than or inadequate because those things didn't happen in the time frame that according to society that it was supposed to happen. And the reality of that is there is no set time for a woman to be married or have children. Some women don't have children, some women don't want children, and that is absolutely and perfectly okay. Not every woman has to be a mother. Not every woman is meant to be a mother. And some women get married. Some women get married at a young age. Some women get married at an older age. Some women don't marry at all. Guess what? All of that is perfectly okay. There is nothing wrong with a woman being single at a certain age. And then, and because, we got society as women telling us we should be married at a certain age, because I went through that too. I expected to be married by 30, and when I wasn't married by 30, I was tripping. And then as time went on and older I got, by the time I hit 40, I was really tripping. If I was tripping, you thought I was tripping at 30. When I hit 40, I was really, and realized I was still single, I was really tripping. So each year after that, I was like, seriously? I would trip out when it got close to time to my birthday. Every year, when it got close time to my birthday, particularly after the age of 40, every year I was like, seriously? Seriously? I'm still 40. I'm 41, and and I did that every year. After it really got bad in my 40s. Um, but I realized that this year, when I turned 55 in August. Um, I noticed I didn't go through that crisis. I didn't go through that when I turned 55. Matter of fact, I didn't even think about that. So that to go to show you, I ain't tripping out about it like that no more. And that is a wonderful thing. And it's perfectly fine for a woman to be single. We got to stop letting society dictate to us that we're supposed to reach certain milestones in life at certain times, and then we got to stop letting these bitter men tell us that we're not married at a certain time, because you got a lot of these bitter men out here, bitter and damaged men out here telling us black women, particularly black men, telling us black women that we're not nothing if we get to be a certain age, we ain't and not married. We're not nothing, particularly if we have children at a certain age and not married. We're not nothing. We're less than, we're lower than dirt. And that's absolutely not true. So we just gotta, we gotta stop feeding into, as women, gotta stop feeding into all that. And, the Bible said singleness is a blessed state. You know, Jesus said, I would prefer that you remain as I am, because he was single. So, Jesus, being single is a blessed state. Not everybody don't have to. It's a gift. Not everybody has the gift of singleness. So God said, if you marry, that's okay too. But it's better to be single, because then you can focus more on spiritual things. Whereas you're married, you're more focused on your mate, and it's more of a challenge for you to focus on spiritual things, because you're trying to please God and your mate too. Whereas you're single, you don't have a mate, so you can focus more of your attention on God. That's why it says that in the Bible. So being single is a blessed state. Not a lot of people realize that, because they're worried about what society says about being single. Because society as a whole is sexist. Society is sexist. Society tells women if we're not married at a certain age, we ain't about nothing. We ain't about nothing. And that's not true. Not everybody is even meant to be married. Everybody ain't meant to be married. Everybody ain't meant to be no mother. And that's perfectly fine. All that is perfectly fine. But as far as these women coming on social media, these black women, young women, and I understand how they feel, and those feelings are perfectly normal for them to go through that. Um, that's normal, and it's okay, um, to feel that way, you know, especially if you wanted to get married at a certain time and it didn't happen. Those feelings are normal. It's normal for women to go through that. But however, when black women come on social media, pouring out their heart and soul like that, um, it gives these black women haters, it gives these black women haters more fuel to talk about and bash women. And, these female black women haters, these black women bashers, it just gives them more fuel for fire. And they just gives them more to come on here, and more leverage to bash black women. So my thought is, never let them see you sweat, sisters. Never let these men see you sweat. Don't let them see you sweat. If you going through that, social media is not a good place to um, pour your heart out, particularly if you're a black woman, because we already get bashed. As black women, we get bashed so much. Social media is really, and even with anybody, social media is, people are so mean on social media. People are so mean and cruel on social media. Um, it's not a good place to come and um, pour, like, just completely pour your heart and soul out. Like, us content creators, sometimes, I'll come on here and I'll talk about, what I'm going through. But I don't, I try to, um, be kind of limited in what I'll share as far as, um, if what I'm going through, if I'm going through something and I can use it as a teachable moment, then I will talk about it and I'll discuss it. If I'm gonna use that, what I'm going through, to use it as a teachable moment, or to and maybe give other people some type of encouragement, or whatever the situation is. If I come on here and talk about what I'm going through, it's usually a reason behind it, and it's like I'm using it as a teachable moment or whatever the situation is. But as far as coming on here pouring out my heart and soul, um, I don't really do that too much. You know, if I'm really going through something, you won't see me on here for like 2 or 3 days. If I'm really going through something really deep. Um, but yeah, social media. I highly recommend Black women. What I if I'm really really going through something really really serious and deep, that's when I seek God, and that's when I, you know, pray to God, and I pour my heart and soul out to God. And these last 2 years, when because I had to, if you guys watch me on a regular basis, I had to I had to stop working because of my back and leg issues. Back in 2020, and these past 2 years have been physically, mentally, and emotionally rough on me. It's probably been the single most difficult time in my life, most difficult, challenging time in my life. And then those of you that watch me on a regular basis, I've come on here and talked about my, journey and that, as far as that situation with my back and everything, back and legs and all that. So it's been rough. But usually, and I've been going through. I mean, a lot of things emotionally, and then usually, if I'm really really going through something, I will pour my heart out to God. But I'm not gonna come on here and pour my heart out to you guys, because people are cold hearted on social media, especially the content creators. Um, Now there is some very kind and sweet people on here. Um, but a lot of people, especially Black men, these Black women haters, they love to see us miserable and whatever, because they just got so much hatred in their heart. They got so much hatred in their heart towards Black women. They love to see that. They love to see, why you want to see somebody doing bad. That's what I've been thinking about the last few days. Why do people like to see people doing bad? You must be a pretty miserable person. Anyway, that's another video. That's a whole nother video. But you must be you got to be a pretty miserable person to want to see somebody doing bad. Why do people like to see other people doing bad? It's something seriously inherently evil and miserable about you if you enjoy seeing other people doing bad. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, the bottom line is this: I don't think social media is a good place for these young ladies to. While those feelings that they're having are perfectly normal, they're okay because they need to go through them and process them. I would highly recommend that they seek God. Sisters, seek God. Pour your heart out and soul to God, because He does, in Jesus, because He loves you. They love you. And read your Bible. That gives me a lot of comfort. Meditate on God's Word. And seek therapy. seek a therapist. Um, because sometimes when you're talking to other people, people put their little 2 cents in, and 9 times out of 10, people people sometimes they have good intentions, but they wind up saying something stupid that does not help you. Okay, so and they make you people sometimes wind up making you feel worse. So sometimes it's better to talk to someone that's more objective and such as a therapist, because most of the time when you talk to people, they wind up saying something that makes you feel kind of worse, you know, or it's just they wind up saying something that just simply does not help you in a situation. And sometimes they have good intentions, and they think they're saying something that is going to help you, but 9 times out of 10, they rarely. Sometimes it's hard to find people that'll just sit and listen to you and just um offer emotional support to you without saying all this random stuff, but that's rare to find. So it's better to talk to God, pray to God, and seek therapy, you know. So unless you have a really, really, really close friend that you could talk to and they'll just sit and listen to you and like that, that's wonderful too. But to come on social media and to pour your heart out, it just, as black women, it'll just open yourself up to a lot of scrutiny and criticism from these black female haters on here. And there's a whole lot of them out there. Black female haters. I call them the black supremacists. They're the black supremacists. But bottom line is, sisters, don't never let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you sweat. You know, that's my thought. Don't let them see you sweat. You know. Okay. Let me know if you in the conversation you've been hearing these women come on social media, black women pouring their heart out and soul about being single and this and that and the other. And let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that subscribe, like, and share. Until my next video. All right.